Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Are you ready to unlock some serious life-hacking wisdom today?
Sounds exciting. What are we diving into?
Well, we're cracking open a book called Hoofdlijnen. It's Dutch for headlines.
Headlines, huh?
Yeah, think of it as a visual greatest hits collection, but instead of catchy tunes, we've got 123 life hacks.
123. Pulled from where, exactly?
Straight from the pages of all those self-help books we love, or love to skim. It's like the best bits, all in one place.
Ah, so we're getting the distilled wisdom, saving everyone the time and effort of reading tons of books themselves.
You got it. Less reading, more living. Right? And one of the visuals that really grabbed me from the get-go was this 80-20 rule applied to how we communicate. Have you heard of that?
Oh, absolutely. The idea that body language speaks volumes. It's not always what you say, but how you say it.
Precisely. And Hoofdlijnen really digs into that. It's like, imagine you're pitching a game-changing idea to investors. You could have the most brilliant business plan ever.
But if you're slumped in your chair, avoiding eye contact?
Exactly. They're going to sense hesitation. It's about aligning your body language with your message.
Right. A confident stance, a genuine smile, those speak volumes.
It's like that saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
And your body language is that first impression.
Yeah.
Before you even say a word.
Exactly. And think about those speakers who just radiate charisma. It's not always about having the loudest voice in the room.
It's often their genuine enthusiasm, that passion just shining through every gesture, every expression.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of charisma and making an impact, Hoofdlijnen takes us on a little historical detour, Columbus discovering America.
Columbus, how does that fit in?
Well, the book uses it to illustrate this powerful idea of reframing problems as intentions. Stick with me here.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Reframing problems.
Exactly. So Columbus, he sets out to find a new sea route to the East Indies, right?
But instead,
He stumbles upon a whole new continent.
talk about an unexpected turn.
Right. It's like those happy accidents we hear about in science, like penicillin or even potato chips, stuff that wasn't planned but turned out amazing.
I see where you're going with this. Turning a perceived failure into a win.
Exactly. Have you ever had a mistake turn into an unexpected win?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all have.
And Hoofdlijnen suggests we view setbacks through this lens of opportunity.
Instead of getting bogged down in the this wasn't the plan mentality.
Ask, okay, what can I learn from this? What new possibilities does this open up?
That's a real game changer. It reminds me of the whole growth mindset concept, embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly. Shifting our perspective from I'm stuck to I'll figure this out.
Even if it takes a detour or two.
Right. Now, get ready for this next one because it's a bit of a head scratcher. The book points out that as we age, the number of questions we ask daily just drastically drops off. Kids are constantly asking why.
It's true. But somewhere along the line, we grow out of that natural curiosity.
Why do you think that happens? What do you think?
Well, I think part of it is just the nature of routine. As adults, we get so caught up in the day-to-day, ticking off those to-do lists.
We lose sight of the bigger picture.
Exactly. Stop questioning the way things are.
And maybe we start equating asking questions with seeming less knowledgeable. Like, I should have it all figured out by now.
Right, and it becomes this vicious cycle because when we stop asking questions, we stop learning and growing. We stop engaging with that same sense of wonder we had as kids.
It's true. So how do we break free from that? How do we reclaim that childlike curiosity? What can we do?
Well, for starters, I think we can be more mindful of how often we're asking engaging, thought-provoking questions.
Not just how's the weather, but exactly.
Right.
What's got you excited about today, or what are you curious about right now? Well, something to spark a real conversation.
So being more deliberate about the questions we ask.
And it's not just about asking more questions, but becoming better listeners, truly tuning in to what the other person is saying.
Asking those follow-up questions that show genuine interest.
It's like curiosity may have killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back.
Oh, there you go. Always good to have a little curiosity revival.
Now, speaking of trying new things, Hoofdlijnen throws us a curveball. You ready for this?
Hit me with it.
Cold showers.
Cold showers.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those, right?
Well, certainly a way to wake up in the morning.
But Hoofdlijnen highlights this link between cold showers and noradrenaline.
Noradrenaline. That's a fascinating one. Plays a key role in our stress response, and cold exposure can definitely trigger it.
Right. And some people find that gives them a sense of alertness, maybe improves their mood. Have you ever tried it?
I have. I can't say I've made it a daily habit or anything,
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
but it does make you feel, I don't know, alive, like you've really woken up.
It's like that jolt you get jumping into a cold pool, but maybe a bit less jarring at 6 a.m.
Exactly. But, everyone is different.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
What works for one person?
Might not work for another. And that's part of what's interesting about these life hacks. They encourage you to experiment a bit,
Become your own scientist.
see how your body responds.
Love that. Speaking of experimenting with our choices, let's dive into this thought-provoking visual from Hoofdlijnen, the sushi plate analogy for bycatch in fishing.
Oh, yes, that's a powerful one. Really makes you think.
Right. Picture this, you're about to enjoy a plate of sushi.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Delicious.
Yeah.
But surrounding that perfect roll, all the other creatures that were caught and killed in the process.
Right, the ones we don't see.
Turtles, sharks, dolphins. Suddenly, not so appetizing, is it?
It's a stark reminder that our choices, even seemingly small ones, have these ripple effects.
And often those consequences are hidden
Out
right.
of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. And Hoofdlijnen uses this visual to encourage us to be more mindful consumers, to think about the full impact of our choices.
Even beyond what's right there in front of us.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears to something that really resonated with me, the idea of mini retirements.
Mini retirements. Interesting.
Yeah, incorporating those throughout our lives, not just this big distant retirement at the end. What do you think about that?
I like it. It challenges that traditional view of retirement. Waiting until, 65 to finally start living our dreams?
Right, like I've earned it.
Yeah,
But then what?
exactly. So instead of putting all our eggs in that someday basket,
What if we wove periods of rest and rejuvenation into our lives right now?
give me a for instance. What would that look like?
Well, it could be as grand as taking a sabbatical, right? Traveling the world, pursuing that passion project.
Or maybe it's even simpler. Blocking out an afternoon each week to just unplug.
It's about designing a life we don't need to escape from, right?
Precisely. And Hoofdlijnen reminds us none of us knows what tomorrow holds.
That's for sure.
So why wait to pursue our dreams someday? Why not start now?
It really is about shifting that perspective, isn't it? From someday to, why not now?
Exactly.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into Hoofdlijnen, one last thing I wanted to get your take on.
Okay, yeah.
It wasn't explicitly laid out in the book, and it got me thinking. This whole idea of approaching learning with, a long-term memory mindset.
Long-term memory mindset.
Right, not just cramming facts for the next exam, but really embedding that knowledge.
I see. So it becomes a part of how you see the world.
Yes, and Hoofdlijnen touches on this, how our long-term memory, it's like this incredible library. Experiences, insights, those connections we make. It's not just about what am I going to make for dinner. It's like, how does all this stuff fit together?
It informs everything we do.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made me think, what if whatever we're learning, new skill, random fact, we approach it with that intention of, I want to remember this, not just for now, but for life.
It's a different way of looking at it.
Because when we prioritize understanding,
Yeah.
right, application over memorization.
You're going to retain that knowledge. Use it in more meaningful ways.
It's like that saying, tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember.
Involve me and I learn.
Exactly. And Hoofdlijnen nudges us toward that active engagement with information.
Questioning those assumptions, considering different perspectives, not just taking things at face value.
Which is so crucial now more than ever, right?
In this age of information overload.
It's so easy to just get swept away.
Cultivating that discerning mind, the one that can sift through all the noise and figure out what's really important, that's a lifelong pursuit.
It really is. And I think this book, Hoofdlijnen, it's definitely a great starting point, a source of inspiration for that journey.
Absolutely.
So to our listeners, if you're ready to unlock, a treasure chest of practical wisdom, thought-provoking insights, we highly recommend giving Hoofdlijnen a read. And hey, consider this deep dive your shortcut to its most impactful takeaways. Until next time, stay curious and keep those life hacks handy.